Young'uns, how are yins? It's Lae'Visia Rivers, and it's that time again of the week, honey. It's time for Sunday Sins. Had this old girl write me a little note this week and pass it, and she said, Lae'Visia, she said, I'm finally sending my young'uns back to school. And I said, praise the Lord for you, honey, good for you. And she said, but I don't know what I'm going to do with my time. She said, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, and she said, I don't know how that I'm going to figure out to tell people what it is that I'm doing. She said, and I don't know how if I should start lying about what I'm doing with my time, because I just lay around all day and do nothing. And so I thought about what she said, and I thought about all the different types of people who listen to advice from Lae'Visia that are out there. And I thought I'd answer this question for just a few of the different types of Lae'Visia loyal. So anyways, I know some of you into young'uns that start back last week. Some's going to start back this week. Some of them will wait and start back in Labor Day. Some of you's living in bougie, rich places, wait and start back. But yous has all got that list, and you've been buying things, and you got books and notebooks and pencils and retractors and protectors and I don't know, whatever else that you buy for young'uns, honey. And you've bought school clothes and backpacks that have been monogrammed and, oh God, anything else that they need. And if they're teenage children, and you've had to buy nicer clothes and, God, I mean, you've had to buy makeup for the girls and maybe makeup for the boys. I don't care, honey. You just had to get them ready, honey, to go to school. So you're going to send them off to school. And listen, I understand. Some of you women, you have big careers. You go off to big bank buildings and count money, honey. Or you're like my friends, the ladies that work over at Tazewell County DMV, the friendliest DMV in the whole world, by the way, honey, who go in there and have important jobs all day. Okay, y'all have big things that you do all day, or you're commerce important people. Okay, you're embassies of business, honey. I see some pink Cadillacs still on the road, so I know there's still some Mary Kay people out there, honey, that are making some money. Okay, so I know that there's you 31 people that are still making millions of dollars. Okay, I understand. You Rodan and Fields people, honey, that contact me all the time. I know y'all are getting rich. Okay, seriously. So there's you people who have to balance that along with dealing with them young'uns, getting them to school on time, and packing lunches, and dealing with your husband who, has to have his khakis pleated for whatever's going on in his world and everything like that. But I also think about another subgroup of my friends who maybe she doesn't do so much. Maybe she's a little more privileged in her life and she hasn't decided to become a mademoiselle of commerce, okay? She kind of drops some young'uns off and comes back home, and she lays on the couch until Young and the Restless comes on. And she don't think about nothing until then, and she lays there until about 2:30, and she gets up and sprays some deodorant under her arms until she goes up and picks up the young'uns at school, runs them around the window at Dairy Queen, takes them home, lets them run around the house and does nothing else. Because she's got a staff of 3 or 4 in the house with her, ain't that nice? So I got her, honey. Well, see, that's the kind of woman you can lie real good because you got 3 or 4 running around the house doing things. You can say, oh, I had a headache all day, so I just laid here, okay? Then there's the other woman who lays around the house and don't do nothing, but her house is run off. It's everywhere. It's just the office mess ever was. And then she's laying there waiting on the Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives, honey, wondering what Roman and whoever else is doing on them shows, honey, or I don't know, watching that show with Sharon Osbourne in it. I don't know, whatever. And she's getting nothing done. Well, that's the woman I really need to talk to. This is who Sunday Sins is for. Honey, you need to get up off of your ass because you ain't got no staff in your house. And before long, it's going to be time to put up Christmas decorations. And you're going to need to be going to PTA meetings. And you don't need to be going with your hair up just a fried up mess, honey, where you've laid there all day and done nothing, okay? You need to get up and start cleaning your house already and getting your windows cleaned, as Anita would say, because you sure don't put up Christmas decorations and Halloween decorations and it nastiness, okay? So you need to go ahead and get yourself up and get yourself cleaned up, okay? And get your home cleaned up. Get you a toothbrush and scrub around the baseboards, honey, and get you some Murphy's oil and clean the walls, okay? So you need to go ahead and get all that taken care of because you are not quite the bougie woman. But you can pretend like you're that bougie woman. You can, honey. You can make it happen. You can. I swear to God you can. The fourth woman I want to talk about is the grandma who tries to fill in for the other types of women that I've talked about. Girl, you are the goddess, and you just make it work for yourself, honey, because you know what? You figured it out a long time ago. You're like, you know what? I take these young'uns when it's good for me, and the other time, you can handle them, okay? So anyways, Lae'Visia loves you all, and listen, the atoning for this sin this week is the young'uns are the most important, but really when it comes down to it, take care of yourself, girls. Talk to you soon.